As a hooper, if you can get fast with your first 2 to 3 steps, you have an immediate advantage on the court, when driving off the dribble, when attacking closeouts, and when on defense too. And while some players are just naturally fast and others, like myself, weren't really born with this gift, it is trainable, especially those first couple steps, and I've seen players get big results. And again, step 1, 2, and 3 are many times all that matter in basketball. And training this usually comes down to 3 things. Number 1, the physical side, which is getting stronger, more elastic and powerful at the foot and ankle, and making sure you're mobile enough for positions like this. Number 2 is movement skill, which is mostly centered around no matter what position you're in, finding a way to get your feet behind you and in a good position to project you forward, with a nice forward lean, as well as the timing of the arm swing, quickly pulling yourself into these positions and more. And then 3 is the ball control and the timing off the dribble. So being able to time up the dribble and explode in a coordinated way, have enough control to push it out in a ton of different ways, and then float the ball out of that explosion. So check out this workout that targets all of those things. Most of these drills are my advanced ball handling routine for hoopers with a good handles foundation who want to challenge themselves on a new level. Let's get to it. First series we'll work on here is going to be out of more so stationary positions. So we're just getting comfortable with exploding, getting into those first couple steps out of weird positions, ones that we may see in a game, but that are also exaggerations of what we do see in a game, so that when we do explode by defenders, it's a little bit easier. First one we're going with here, I'm starting in a really deep lunge here, so like a regular lunge with a step out, okay? From here, I can get into any dribble I want to, maybe between the legs, whatever. Then working on being able to punch backwards to project myself forward, okay? Sometimes you'll find yourself in positions that are like this one, a little bit tough to explode out of here. So working on replacing that foot to explode out is something that I want you guys to get really comfortable and powerful with. Then you can also work on crossing out of that. So if I'm with this left foot in front again, I can now punch and cross out this way, which is kind of the same footwork, but now just angling myself out 45 degrees this way. Second one here, I'm starting in more of kind of a side lunge here. So it's like I'm going with a weight right here in the weight room, getting myself super low. I can even turn this out to exaggerate this. From here, trying to go 2 different ways to explode out of this. Number 1 is more of a right angle where I go here and out. Number 2 is gonna be more of a foot replacement where I'm leaning, and pushing out kind of straight from where I'm already oriented towards, okay? So number 1 would look like this. I'm crossing with that left. Number 2 would look more like this, where I foot replace and then go, okay? Alternating those 2, cycling through it, really try to lean into that side lunge at first, explode out of there as fast and as effortlessly as you can. Third and final one of this series, this one will be a little bit weird. I'll give you an alternative if you're in a public gym and you're a little embarrassed, which I don't think should be a problem, but it can be. You're starting on your butt, okay? You can start with a dribble here. Your only goal is to stand up and explode forward as efficiently as possible, okay? So I'm really trying to find like a forward lean to explode out of there. You can do it how I just did it. You can kind of cross out of it. So maybe I could stand up here, and then cross out of that. It is gonna feel weird. It is gonna feel very unnatural. That's why we're doing it. So if you can get comfortable, and again, really weird positions, really weird movements, you're gonna be able to explode past anybody, no matter what position you're in. If you're not a fan of doing that in a public gym, yes, I can't blame you. You can go in a kneeling position here and then kind of isolating that last part of a lot of what we'll see on the, starting on the butt one, where you're just pushing out here, again, using this kneeling position to explode with good shin angles, project yourself forward. You could also just add this into the workout if you want to. If you feel like this would be good for you, that's up to you. Now, before we actually apply that in a more dynamic moving situation, we're gonna go a couple different first step drills or ball control drills to help make those a little bit easier. First one here is gonna be a big skip, so I'm trying to get up as high as I can. I'm going 2 skips. After that second one, I'm landing, exploding as fast as I can, so I'm going up from as high as I can
to projecting myself forward. You'll see what I'm talking about here. Next one here, a little bit more of a ball control focus, okay? I'm starting off getting my hand on the inside of the ball, okay? So let's say the ball is coming across. On a crossover, I'm getting my hand here, turning it over, and then from here at first, I'm getting into any move I want to explode forward, okay? So being able to cuff, manipulate, switch sides of the ball is big, gives you a lot more options to explode past. Also working on being able to drop quickly into that first step and go. Second part of that, you're gonna start on the inside. So again, here, all right, going to the outside, and then from there, pushing out. So again, I don't want you to carry the ball and then go for all you guys in the comments, but I do wanna see here, and then from there, pushing out. Next one here is gonna be an eyes closed curvilinear acceleration. Okay, this is another weird one, but I think it's really good. And the reason for that is when we close our eyes, yes, we challenge our ball control, obviously because we can't see the ball, but more so than anything, we're challenging our proprioception, okay? A lot of how we stay on balance and stay in control is by what we see. We see the ground, we see certain spots. We're able to see where we are in space, okay? When we close our eyes, obviously we don't get that, so we have to trust everything else that's going on, okay? So here, I'm gonna start top of the key, all right? I'm trying to go around this curve, okay? So around this elbow here to get into a curvilinear drive that you'll see all the time as players are driving, okay? You can look at first. As soon as you start making this move or a couple moves, you're closing your eyes, you're gonna have to trust where you're going here. If you make it past, great. If you don't, try it again. I think this is a really good way to, again, not only challenge your ball control, but also challenge your ability to trust your movement and work at these curvilinear angles. Now, last series here, we're gonna go 3 different ways to actually rep out different ways to explode off the dribble. So it's like the first series that we did, now you're moving a little bit more into it, okay? First one, very similar to the one where we started in the deep lunge. Now I'm kind of stepping into that, okay? So I'm taking a big step forwards here. From there, as soon as this foot taps the ground, I'm punching back, projecting myself forward. Next one here, I'm going 2 reverse between the legs. Now, I want you to cover as little ground as possible on these. So instead of going 1, 2, and then going here, it's as short and as quick as you can possibly perform that movement, okay? So be 1, 2 from here, you're just punching backwards, exploding out. Try to go at a little bit more of a 45-degree angle here to mimic what you'll do when you got a defender in front of you. Last one here, you're alternating between one that's a little bit more stationary and then one that's a little bit more dynamic. So starting in a lunge here, or sorry, a kneel here, reaching across. So this heel should be past where this knee is at, and then punching the ground to push out this way, okay? So what this is mimicking is being able to explode off of that inside foot with the first step and go, okay? So the position of the ankle, position of the hip, all right, and just the coordination of being able to accelerate out of that. Then last one here, you're getting creative, you're freestyling out of an inverted first step, okay? So where you're reaching across with this foot and then exploding out in one direction or the other. Switch up the moves each time, switch up the positions, the speed, all of that, really try to get creative here.
So as always, hopefully you guys can take this and go apply it today, tomorrow, whenever you hit the court next. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you want to dive fully into this type of stuff, make sure to check out the Virtual Academy. Link will be in the description.